So in this lecture we are going to discuss about secondary rasas which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is discussing in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. Well, these are paragraphs from 17 to 26. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 24 and 26. This whole section Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is discussing on 5 types of rasas first. That is Shant, Dasya, Sakhe, Vatsalya, Madhure. But of course, he actually summarizes all these 5 rasas in very brief. If you read Nectar of Devotion, entire section is devoted to each rasa, but he just summarizes it. By the way, as a writer I can tell you that expanding something is quite easy, but summarizing it without missing any crucial point, that's only an expert writer can do. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is not just a writer, but he is revealing the truth. He is a self-realized soul. So if you read these paragraphs, it is in summarized form, these 5 rasas, and the point I was talking was that this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, by this summarization of these 5 rasas we can see the mode of presentation. The presentation style of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is quite succinct, very clear, explicit, to the point. That is the beauty of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So even if you don't so even if you might not have read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, all these 5 types of rasas in details, if you read this, just these few sections from 17 through 26, you will get a very good idea what are these 5 types of rasas and what exactly we are talking about. And then he goes on to describe 7 secondary rasas. That means so 7 secondary rasas means like wonder, astonishment, or maybe hasya, that is humor, or sadness, all these, or anger, all these 7 secondary rasas which you can read in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. The whole point is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is showing how to present, and the second is he is actually fighting with Sahijyas. Sahijyas like to think that we have attained rasa, we are there already, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he is making this point very clear that rasa is not a very cheap stuff. All these sentiments, they are spiritual, and you have to make yourself qualified and your heart pure to attain it. You can't achieve rasa, it has to be bestowed upon you, it has to be given to you by Shri Krishna. It's so it's almost like that. So you can understand by an example, faith is like passport in devotion, and rasa is like visa in devotion. So passport is given to you by your own country, but visa is given by the country where you want to go. So rasa is like visa, which is issued from spiritual world, which Krishna gives you when he finds your passport bona fide and pakka, perfect. There is no problem in your passport. Then you get a visa. So the whole idea is rasa is an act of mercy of Shri Krishna bestowed upon that particular soul when he finds his heart has become pure. So that's the point he's bringing in these verses. He's fighting Sahijism. By the way, one point is very important here. If you think about it, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur fought his whole life. This whole book we are discussing, this whole book, the main theme of this book is to fight Sahijism. But actually, ironically, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's books also couldn't stop Sahijism. Actually, in one way, it counteracted Sahijism, but in another way it actually also promoted Sahajism, because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also wrote many esoteric books. He wrote commentaries on them, and people who read his books didn't really focus on the theme what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to present through his books, the theme of Phaetic Sahajism, the theme of making the things concise and precise. They didn't really look, or they actually overlooked these points, but and they took the Rasic part. That's the whole idea. And actually it promoted more Sahajism. Like for example, all these Kathakars and all these speakers on Bhagavatam, they read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's esoteric points, and they filter out all these philosophical points against Sahajism, take these esoteric points, speak in public, impress them, and then earn money. That's all. That's what happened. So the whole conclusion is, anything can happen at any time. You might think you are doing the right thing, but it might have a parallel reverse effect. But of course, I mean to say, having said that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur set a clear boundary between Sahajism and Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Those who were sincere, those who were bona fide, they understood his books, and they also understood that there is a link, a harmonious link between Rasa and philosophy. And they also understood, so what are the limits of Rasa? What is actually Maryada of Rasa? With Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says Prem Maryada. This word he introduces in Antelila. Now generally you don't think about Maryada when it comes to Prema, because Maryada is generally linked with Lord Rama. But which Krishna's Kaviraj Swami introduces this point, Prem Maryada. There is a limit, there is a boundary for love also. That love cannot cross those boundaries. If it tries to cross those boundaries, then you enter the realm of sentimentalism and actually offensive mentality against Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So that's what his books are doing. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's books, especially this section, it is trying to set a boundary to 5 rasas and 7 secondary rasas, a boundary, and it is actually appealing to devotees. Yeah, you love Krishna, you offer these rasas to Krishna, but within boundary, within Maryada. That's what he is doing there in this section. So this is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has done in this section, and then he ends his book with a very beautiful verse, and in that verse he says, this book I am writing for those people who do not understand grammar properly, who do not have in-depth understanding in Sanskrit, as what was the situation of Vrindavan when Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reached Vrindavan. Especially due to Muslim invasions, people were not coming to Vrindavan. The schools of Sanskrit were destroyed, temples were destroyed. So basically Vrindavan became a barren land. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur started from scratch. So he said, well, people who don't know Sanskrit in details, for them I am writing this book, a summary book, so that they can read and understand what Rupa Goswami has to give us, what is his gift to us, what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift to us, and then they will develop an inquisitiveness to actually read Rupa Goswami's books. That's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has done in this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu book, especially in this section. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.